Nearly a year after Osama bin Laden's death, President Obama's re-election team has released a web video that questions whether likely Republican nominee Mitt Romney would have ordered the raid. And now, Senator John McCain, a Romney surrogate, is firing back. Here's part of what he had to say. Quote, "Now Barack Obama is not only trying to score political points by invoking Osama bin Laden, he is doing a shameless end zone dance to help himself get re-elected. So is this an effective campaign tool? Or is it a cheap shot?" Joining us now is the founder and president of American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, Dave. It's nice to be with you.
Trumpeting one's foreign policy credentials, certainly fair game. Did the president go one step too far in this case?
Well, I think I really do agree with Senator McCain, and it's interesting how, things change over time, and the president really, the president should be a unifier, and this is an issue that is not a partisan issue. And I think regardless of who's in the White House, the decision would have been made for us to have victory over bin Laden and give him the ultimate price, which is his death. And SEAL Team 6 and the military should not be used as a political tool of left versus right. And both sides have been guilty of this at times, and I think ultimately, as a Muslim, I've seen the Muslim issue in the Muslim community and domestic terror threat and radicalization also be used as a ping pong ball between the left and the right. And I think from the bully pulpit of the White House, it really is exploitative to use this and not say that, we're going to develop a strategy, and Al-Qaeda has not necessarily disappeared. It may have developed other heads as a hydra into new different threats, and the Middle East is more dangerous than it's ever been.
It is certainly a little bit hypocritical, too, when you go back in time, the immediate aftermath of the killing of Osama bin Laden. The president came out and said, "We will not attempt to spike the football." Is it doing just that?
Well, I think it does seem to be that way, and in this election year, unfortunately, what happens is, as many in the Muslim world try to see, well, is America going to defend those who are searching for freedom and do the right thing? Rather, it looks upon it just being used for political reasons, and in this political season, it ends up being used in an exploitative fashion rather than in doing what's right and unifying us from left and the right. And unfortunately, the White House has not risen above that and is not laying out what its strategy is. The people of Syria and many of those fighting for freedom have seen the president say, well, possibly waiting for elections, etc., rather than doing what's right. And here again, this ad seems to be just sort of spiking the football rather than really saying what our strategy is and being nonpartisan in this battle.
And Doctor, as we approach the one-year anniversary, I'm curious your take in terms of broadly, how different is the world since the killing of Osama bin Laden? How has the war on terror changed?
Well, I'll tell you, I think, it's unfortunate that still now coming into the fourth year of this presidency, we don't have a doctrine. The world is changing manifestly. Many of us have been happy to see secular dictators and thugs of the world in the Middle East begin to see their demise and change. But if that change goes towards theocracy, towards political Islam, it'll be more of a threat, just as Iran has become more of a threat. And we don't have a White House with the courage to say that we're going to take sides with this battle within the House of Islam, the sides of moderate Muslims, the sides of those seeking individual freedom and liberty, and actually have a liberty doctrine in the Middle East. We don't even know what the president's doctrine is in the Middle East. So ultimately, this is my, 1 year I thought we would have had some new theories from the president about what the approach should be, but we haven't seen that. It's almost, even this week in the National Journal, somebody from the State Department said, well, the war is over. And clearly, from Somalia to Nigeria to Sudan and Iran and Syria, the war is far from over.
Very interesting perspective. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Coming up, they're the